Hey everyone, and welcome to Modicare channel. Today, we're going to dive into one of the coolest parts of learning English, idioms. You know, those fun, colorful phrases that make conversations pop. And trust me, we have a really good one to break down today. Let's get right into it.
So, let me ask you something. Have you ever heard a story that just sounded a little too crazy to be real? I'm talking about a friend telling you they caught a fish the size of a car. Yeah, right. It sounds completely impossible, doesn't it? Well, guess what? English actually has a special name for a tall tale just like that. We call it a fish story. So what exactly does that mean? And where in the world did that name come from? Let's figure it out. To put it simply, a fish story is any story that's been stretched, exaggerated, is super hard to believe, or might just be a flat-out lie. It's for that exact moment when you're listening to someone and you just know they're not telling you the whole truth. So why call it a fish story? You can probably guess this one. It comes from that classic tradition of fishermen. You know the one. They come back from a fishing trip, and with every single person they tell, the fish they caught just seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The whole process is actually super simple. It all starts with step one. A fisherman catches a totally normal fish. Then, step two, he goes to tell his buddies about it. And boom, by step three, that little fish has somehow transformed into a legendary sea monster. That right there is a fish story in the making. Okay, so the backstory is pretty fun, but how do you actually use this phrase in a real conversation? Well, the best way to learn is to just see it in action. So let's check out a couple of examples. Let's circle back to that first question about the car-sized fish. In Indonesian, you might say, cerita tentang dia menangkap ikan sebesar mobil jelas hanyalah sebuah cerita bohong. Now, in English, you can just swap that last part out perfectly with our new idiom. The story about him catching a fish as big as a car was clearly just a fish story. See how nicely that fits right in? So this is the big takeaway, the connection you really want to remember. When you're thinking of cerita bohong in Indonesian, the perfect English equivalent is a fish story. It totally captures that same feeling of an unbelievable, exaggerated tale. Here's another one, this time talking about someone's habit. In Indonesian, anak itu suka membumbui kisahnya, jadi banyak orang menganggapnya hanya cerita berlebihan. And in English, we'd say, the boy likes to exaggerate his tales, so many people think they are just fish stories. In this case, it's not about one story, but a person's tendency to, not really stick to the facts. And let's put a spotlight on that awesome Indonesian verb, membumbui. Now, literally, it means to add spices to food. But when you're talking about stories, it means to spice it up, to add exciting, but maybe not so true details. In other words, to exaggerate. It's the secret ingredient that turns a regular story into a fish story. Okay, so you've got the meaning, you know the origin, and you've seen a few examples. Now to really make this idiom stick, it's your turn to do a little thinking. This actually got me curious. I mean, pretty much every language has a great way to talk about telling tall tales. So, what's an idiom in your language that means something similar to a fish story? Seriously, thinking about these kinds of connections is one of the best ways to get better at any new language. And that is a wrap on this explainer from Modicare channel. I really hope you have some fun using the phrase, a fish story. Go on, try to use it in your next English conversation. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.